Right. Trump's second term is basically a Trojan horse for the Heritage Foundation and the techno-fascists and the Dark Enlightenment crew, with J.D. Vance serving as the bridge between those two parties, between the Heritage Foundation, where he wrote the foreword to Kevin What's-His-Fuck, his book, and where he's literally just a puppet and a political creation of Peter Thiel and the techno-fascists. And so Donald Trump is a narcissist, right? When a narcissist experiences shame and rejection, they have to destroy the thing that's rejected them. And so the difference between Donald Trump's first term and his second term is the rejection of the 2020 election, is all of the lawsuits in between 2020 and 2024, and the way this country rejected him. And so he's both consciously and subconsciously compelled to destroy the United States, right? And that compulsion, that psychological compulsion, fits in with the philosophical aims of the Heritage Foundation and the techno-fascists, which both want to see the destruction of the American Republic replaced with something more along the lines of Christian nationalism by the Heritage Foundation, and techno-feudalism and kind of like technocracy by the techno-fascists. And so Donald Trump won't be removed, and he can be as crazy as possible, is because they've leveraged his cult to entrench themselves in power in a way that they're not simply going to give up because of elections. I don't think the last election was fair. I think they stole the last election. And so the belief that, like, number one, the elections are going to go off in free and fair ways in the midterms, to me is sketchy. But also that the current administration will respect the will of the people. Right, we've seen Mike Johnson fuck around and not seat people for a while. They have given up on the belief of shared government. They have been given up on the legitimacy of any sort of political victory that is not theirs. Right, even if they accept it, they're not going to accept the constitutional order anymore. They've proven that over and over. Donald Trump and the tariffs are a perfect example of that. And so, this country is in a much, much more dangerous position than it seems most people understand, the people that seem to think we can kind of vote our way out of this. The nexus between Christian nationalism, AI, and surveillance technology and this current administration is a dangerous and scary place to be, where they're building national databases, leveraging AI and surveillance technology to kind of create files on all of us. Right? They have ICE out here. Democrats love to say, like, ICE needs more training. This is their fucking training. They're training on the job. The pretext of, like, going after immigrants is just that. It's a pretext. They're going to come after everybody, obviously. And so this has actually very little to do with Donald Trump, other than the way that he's being used and his narcissism is being weaponized. And he's also being used as the shiny object. While everybody focuses on Trump, the techno-fascists. I mean, when J.D. Vance was selected as vice president, despite the fact that he had historically low approval ratings, that was the tell that the fix was in, that the techno-fascists had bought the presidency, right? That they're actually in charge. This is the truth of all of this, that Donald Trump just goes up there and plays president on TV, and they cater to his whims and feed his grandiosity and his need for revenge, while they're quietly constructing a techno-fascist police state. Right? We've already been living basically in a police state forever. It's just only extended to marginalized people, and they're kind of extending, the umbrella of authoritarianism away from the traditional outgroups onto basically everybody's that's not them. And eventually they'll just eat themselves too. But it's going to continue to get worse and worse and worse. And to me, the idea that the midterms are going to really fix anything, I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see it. I just see the midterms as another extension and another fight that the Democrats aren't ready nor prepared to have, whether they even want to.